We're live. Better late than never. I know it's been about 3 days, but it's the player ratings. Arsenal 1, Norwich 0. So tonight, not only have I got one guest, I've got two guests. TV residents. We've got Canners. How are we doing, Canners?
I'm good. Yourself? Like the intro. I like the music, man. The theme. Tony's got a theme. Silva Fox has got theme music. Love it.
Been a long time coming, that's for sure. James, welcome.
It's nice.
I think you're both new to this show. How are we?
Very good, very good. As Kenneth said, I was very impressed with the intro. I think that's the best one yet. I thought that was pretty sick.
Yeah.
Very good. But yeah.
See how he leaves the best one for his own show, eh?
Yeah,
we're on to you, Mr.
No, I think Gunslinger is the best myself, if I'm honest. But that actually took me the least amount of time. Believe it or not. So any thoughts on the game before we go into the player ratings? I know you had your say, Canners, James.
Yeah, I think we were the much better team. I think on the day I know we had 30 shots on target, which is not 30 shots on target, 30 shots, 7 on target, 7 or 6 on target. I can't remember the exact figures. So I think that's the most amount of shots we've had since like 2013, I think. So that was good. We should have just scored more, but I think overall it was a really good performance.
Yeah, well, it was. Could have been a bit more clinical in front of goal, but 3 points was the important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, without further ado, let's just go straight into the team, and we'll start with the goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale. Canners, we'll start with you.
I'll give him a. We're gonna give him a 7. More assured. I think than Leno. Lovely shimmy, as per your intro. I love that little shimmy, little drop the shoulder. But that's something that Leno would never have been able or even thought about doing. Whether it was obviously, I don't think it's by design, but at least though he's got the nous or whatever, the mindset to actually think of and know how to get out of a tight situation and stuff. So solid debut and clean sheet.
That's all we could ask for, James.
Yeah, you can't go any better than that, can you?
Yeah, I'd say a 7 as well. I think he didn't really have that many chances like he needed to save. If he did, it would have been higher, but simply because of how astute he was with the ball and how many good passes he was playing. What I liked is he was on a number of occasions he was playing it bypassing the 2 centre-backs and just going straight to the number 6, which Leno doesn't normally do. It's always goalkeeper centre-back and then that way. So it was nice to see for once. I felt like he translated his confidence into the back four. I felt like they felt reassured knowing that if they were in trouble, they could pass it back. As Canners and you showed in the intro, what he did to Timo Pukki, sent him there, bought him a packet of chips as well. That he has that about him, and that's... Yeah. I think is going to be his biggest asset to our team going forward. Like we already know he's a relatively okay shot stopper. It's relatively unknown how good he is with his feet because he's not played with his feet in Bournemouth and very rarely in Sheffield United. So it'll be interesting to see how he progresses through the season in terms of his ball playing ability.
Yeah. You just felt. Oh, did you give him a rating?
7, yeah.
You felt comfortable when you had the ball, didn't you? Compared to Elena. I mean, just a little stat I'm going to throw up here. Not that one. I'm getting out myself. So if we compare it with Elena,
I was going to say that was a good one. Leave that one up.
Pick it back up if you want. Have a good old look at that.
Look at his passing accuracy and his take on success. Harry Kane, who is he, eh?
It had to be done. It had to be done. Same amount of goals as well, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that just says a lot, really, doesn't it? Leno's played 3 more. Just says it all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, the keeper's not there to have a take on success percentage. I'm not. Well, I don't want to see that too often. What he did, to be honest,
Yeah, but how many times have we seen Leno just screw it up? He gets nervous in front of a player,
Yeah, and the fact that he's comfortable, and I think as James alluded to there, it kind of we became too predictable with Leno in goal, where the ball's going to go, and the fact that teams knew that they could press him, and more, 8 times or 9 times out of 10, Leno would go long, if pressed or whatever, or he'll just go sideways. At least now, Ramsdale's looking forwards as well, and to drill something into it, rather than the centre back to your number 6 and stuff to start off playing again. So, yeah, unpredictability is what we need, because we're too predictable.
And I think I agree. I think 7's a solid score for him. He didn't really have too much to do in terms of shot stopping, if you like. But what we saw with him, you couldn't fault him.
Yeah.
On to the debutant, Takehiro Tomiyasu. He picked up some interesting numbers in the first half. I think it's still here somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's an area we've been lacking, especially in the air, in defence.
Especially
very
from right
encouraging.
back.
Exactly. It's very, very encouraging. James, I'll start with you on Tomiyasu.
Well, my rating I'm going to give him is a 6. Only reason being is because he only played for 60 minutes because he got cramp. But during his debut, I was very, very, very impressed. Like I've done a bit of research myself, like Twitter and just watching threads and like in-depth analysis from other channels, and he's an aerial monster. Well, you saw with your statistic, 5 out of 5 aerial challenges in the first half. Right? This guy is in like the top percentiles for defensive numbers and defensive actions, especially in the air. So I think it's very important that we brought him in, and I like his height. I know you say he's a centre back, and yes, he can play centre back and right back, right? But it's just nice to have somebody that can, if Ben White goes forward, he can slot in as a centre back, but he can also support him as a right back. And as we know, Ben White isn't the best in the air. You saw it against Ivan Toney, where everyone was saying he got bullied, right? But he lost a lot of aerial duels against Brentford. Now that he's sandwiched between Tomiyasu, who's 6'2", and Gabriel, who's 6'4", he can then not focus on being bullied aerially. And we'll see. I think we'll see this in our next game, because Burnley FC crosses and hit the ball long, right? We're going to see Gabriel and Tomiyasu in comparing to, I think they're strikers who are like very, very, very tall. So yeah, overall impressive, very impressive.
So a 6 for you, which is fair. You come off quite early on. Canners?
I'm actually going to give him a 7.5. Reason being, I thought he was excellent in the air. What he had to do, it's good on the ball. It's both-footed. Displayed that as well. He almost scored with a flying volley as well. I thought, he had I think the only problem was that fitness. I mean, because obviously he's just coming, which means he couldn't last the full 90. But I think it's a very promising start. I think bearing in mind it's his debut and stuff. Home debut coming in, it's going to be nerves in there, but I'll give him a 7.5. I thought he was decent enough, and a heck of an upgrade on Bellerin and Cedric and Chambers already. So yeah, 7.5 for Tomiyasu,
without a doubt. I would say 7.5, but I would probably bring him down to 7. I love what I saw from him. It's like what James said. He's going to be important for us in the next game. I'm hoping he'll start and he's fit, because we're going to need a player like that. This was the reason why Chambers come in last season. It was against Burnley, and obviously that didn't really work. Mind you, saying that it was a mistake from Xhaka, wasn't it? So, but with the big boys up front, I think he's going to be important, especially going forward. Aerial duels is something we struggled in previous games and seasons, and he's going to be important. I'll give him a 7. We're going to go on to the other side, Kieran Tierney. I thought he was a bit quiet.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, go on, Candace. Go
on. I think it was just pretty much a standard performance ready from Tierney. For me, there was nothing spectacular. I mean, but it's a standard, meat and drink, really. Tierney does what he says on the tin. I'd give him a 6.5. Solid enough. Didn't really need to do much, really. I would say from probably all the defenders, he was his most average. He was probably the most average one there. But he's consistent, 6.5, 7, whatever. But I would say 6.5 for him, really, this week. But he's missed the consistency in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say a 6.5. When a player goes unnoticed, it means they're not doing anything wrong. In my book.
Yeah,
and more often than ever, he stands out. He does stand out. It's only usually when we lose because he's the only one to actually try. But I think 6.5 is a fair score. James?
Again, I'm being a bit too harsh, but I'd say a 6. Again, as you said, from what we're used to when Tierney plays, is he is on top of the best performing players in our team. So you automatically go, Tierney's an 8 or Tierney's a 9. It was nice that, as you said, that if you don't notice a player, it means they're doing their job right, just not to a spectacular level because they don't have to. They're just doing all the basics right, and you don't need to worry about that side. And I think he nullified Rashika, I think his name is, the new player that Norwich bought. Again, just a standard performance from what we're expecting from Kieran Tierney.
No, definitely. Before we go on to some of the comments, let's do the centre-back pairing. Let's go with... I'll go Ben White because I think he was probably the lesser out of the two. Candace is smiling. We'll go with Candace.
I'll give him a 7. 7. Do you know what? I like how he... his first thought, when he receives the ball, right, is to look for a pass in midfield rather than go to the left back or the right back or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Or he actually tries to carry it, and for us, that's something which for me is positive, and that's what whether or not he's been instructed to do that or whether that's his natural way of playing. I think he was solid enough in defense as well, and it just gives another level of kind of like how we actually now are looking to attack and how we're looking to actually play. So I'm very kind of happy with the fact that he looks to actually now start playing through midfield rather than just playing it to the right back or playing it again to Gabriel, whatever, who then plays it to the left back, and then like a shoehorn movement, it goes back and forth and stuff. But no, he kind of gets it, tries to carry the ball forward or play the ball forward into midfield, and we start attacks from there. So I'll give him a 7.
Okay, James.
Maybe I'm being too enthusiastic, but I'd give him an 8. I genuinely thought he was very, very, very impressive. Not for his defensive actions, but what he was doing for the team. You might have seen this statistically, you might not have, but he played 3 key passes in that game alone, right? David Luiz did 2 within the whole of last season.
It's true.
Like, some of what he was doing in terms of the ball progression, the pinging, the diagonal balls, especially to Pepe on that far right-hand side, was just unbelievable. And I think what's really, really nice to see now, I'm worried about if one of them gets injured, because the drop-off between those two to Pablo Mari, or I'm going to dig your guy in a little bit here, Rob Holding, is there's quite a bit of a level gap, right? Rob Holding's not bad, but I'm more worried about Pablo Marie coming back in. But we have two different profiles of centre backs. You have the more dominant and Gabriel, the tackle monster, and he's going to win every ball in the air. And then you have the more technical side of Ben White. And I think you saw that today. There was a good mix of Gabriel blocking shots, crunching tackles. I don't know if you saw when he slid across and he blocked that shot from, I think it was Timo.
Yeah, it was late in the game.
Very, very good tackle. Yeah. I was very, very impressed with Ben White.
Maybe I was being harsh on him, and this is no agenda thing. Before you say anything,
he was Rob Holding back in the 11.
No, it's nothing to do with that. I just found him a bit weak.
Gabriel, weak.
No,
Ben White.
Ben White. Yeah, he just looks a bit flimsy to me. I don't want to be too harsh on him because it's early days. With the ball, yes, I'll give you that. His passing is up there, and that's why I would give him about a 6.5. I just thought he was weaker of the two, which leads us on to Gabriel, who I think was a beast. It's his first game back as well, and to put in a performance like that, Canners.
Yeah, solid, very solid. I thought he was solid as well on the ball as well. He was actually the leading passer along with Maitland-Niles. So, for him to have an all-round performance like that, because later on in the game, he made a really important challenge. It's good to have him back. Obviously brings balance as well to the left-hand side. And I think really and truly we've got that's our back five, to be fair, at this moment in time. Listen, now we've got two players who are comfortable on the ball from centre back, who now can start playing towards, for our strengths, really, passing the ball into the midfield. Also, as well, comfortable enough to take the ball out from defence into midfield and step into that. Do you know what I mean? We haven't had that. Mari can't do it. Sorry. Holding can't do it. None of them are comfortable. And what James was alluding to in terms of the quality drop, it is a big quality drop, really. In terms of what and how Arteta wants to play, they're the only two who can do it to any kind of any comfortable degree. So I'll give Gabriel a 7.5.
7.5. I thought that's quite low for me. What I did like as well with Gabriel and White is I was looking at both their heat maps, and it was like an orangey red colour from the edge of our box, past the halfway, and which is something we've not really seen before with our defenders. And yes, that's including Mr. Rob Holding. But Rob Holding's a throwback defender. That's why I love him. James, what would you give Gabriel?
I'm going to give him the same rating as Ben White. I'm going to give him an 8 as well. I think for what he was doing, I didn't think he put a foot wrong today. Saved us on a few occasions. Well, I say saved us. Didn't really save us, but stopped what could have led to a goal, especially that sliding block. I thought was very impressive again. He's just, I don't know. He's like the defensive partnership of that back two. And I know you say Ben White's a bit weaker and he's a bit more fragile, but I just think sandwich between Tomiyasu and Gabriel, we can allow it. So I'm really excited to see this back, like this five. Now, I don't want Leonard to come back in. I've been really impressed by Ramsdale. Again, Leonard's not a bad keeper, but I just want to see them develop over the season, because if this is going to be our back line going forward, I don't know if we're going to make another addition to right back. We might, but for me, Tomiyasu is still going to be starting anyway. Just let them develop. And I think what is even more positive is how they were reacting as a partnership, Ben White and Gabriel, in terms of how they were both closing down the striker team, like Pukki, how they were both pressing, one going up, one staying back. And mind you, that's their first game competitively. They played together. So it's really, really exciting that this potentially could be a back pairing for 10 years. It depends on how they develop.
There'll be stiffer task ahead, but it's a good start. You know,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he made several blocks, tackles. He got stuck in, progressed the ball forward well enough. I can't fault it. I'm gonna give him an 8. He had a couple of chances that went a bit wide, but he's a defender, isn't he? Let's just go through some of the comments just quickly because there's a few. Evening Gems. Is this a distraction from Champions League Tuesday? It's something like that. Yep, that's for sure.
Shout out for
Mr. K, Tottenham boy, Paxton Road. Hi guys, good result last weekend. Can Arteta use it to propel his team up the table? Well, I hope so.
Yeah, he can. He's going to win the next 2 games in the Prem. I'm telling you.
Especially that second one, yeah. Mate, Tommy, aka Japanese Varane, got cramp 60 minutes in. Well, you know, he did just £500, so
yeah, it's contextual as well. I was going to say, as you said, he's played nationals, and I think the time difference is mad. It's like 7 hours time difference.
So I was going to say there's 7 hours ahead. So obviously, yeah, he was playing at 10 p.m. basically kickoff for him.
Yeah, he arrived Thursday as well, I think. So he's had 2 days?
He did.
2 days. Well, one day to come and do media stuff, and then 1 day training, and then play. So I think it's pretty impressive.
It's a joke.
It surprised me that he did play.
Yeah, it's absolute. That time difference is an absolute. It really messes with you. I've been to Hong Kong a couple of times, and when you trying to climatize, seriously, it's a joke, an absolute joke.
I'll work. Let's get into our midfield, and one of the shock names of the team sheet was Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Which I don't think he had a particularly bad game, James.
No, I don't think I'm going to give him a 5. I felt like he was the worst player on the pitch for us. I don't think he was. He didn't have a bad game, but again, I think it was a 5 when he was in central midfield. When he drifted out wide as like a right wing back or right back, then you started to see his qualities a bit more. I don't want to say the guy because he didn't really do much wrong, but I don't think he offered much when he was in that central midfield area. Like, I think Lokonga was better than him, and then you saw the difference when Lokonga came off and Partey was like, right, okay, this is my midfield now. And he just ran with it. Yeah.
No, Gems, I know what you're trying to say. Listen, it's just fatigue. Cramp is down to do with fatigue, and your body clock is totally messed up. Anyway, back to Maitland-Niles. Sorry, did you give us his?
Yeah, I gave him 5.
How are you going to counter that?
Okay, I think that's a bit harsh. I'll give him a 6. I think 6 is probably about the worst rating I'd give a player today. For Saturday. I think he struggled. He struggled particularly in the first half. He really struggled. But I think also as well, he looked tired after about 25, 30 minutes. He actually looked tired, and that's probably because he hasn't obviously played. And so that kind of like showed a bit. I mean, he filled in, as you say, at right back, and he looked more comfortable there, funny enough. But yeah, he had to come off obviously because of cramp. But I think he didn't do anything wrong really, but it just he's not a centre midfielder for us. When everyone's fit, I don't think he's going to be that guy.
No, he's not. I think he was only. Yeah, I think he was only in there because I don't think he wanted to start a party. I don't think he had a bad game. So was it 71 touches, 80% accurate passes? I'll give him a 6. I'll give him a 6 as well. My guy, Albert Sambi Lokonga. For me, I'm still going to say, I know it's early, but he's been the signing of the season so far for me. Canners, Sambi.
He was a beast in midfield, man. Won 5 tackles. He's steadily now starting to look more and more influential, which, you know, for me is is great because of how young he is, and it shows that he's acclimatized into the Premier League. Yeah, he had to obviously make way for Thomas Partey, but I think he's had a good solid start to his Arsenal career. I'll give him a 7.5. Personally.
7.5. James?
Yeah.
I'd give him a 7. I've been impressed with him. I have been impressed with him. I'm still not sure on where his role is going to be as a DM or as a centre mid, a 6 or an 8. But it's nice that he can play both. And I think for what we bought him for and his characteristics, the way I see it is he seems very, very humble. He seems to just want to come on and play, do the work. And then when he needs to come off, he'll come off. It's just like a no-nonsense footballer, and I think is what we've been needed for a while. Like obviously, we got rid of Matteo Guendouzi, who's, I'm not saying he's troublesome, but he has had a troublesome time at Arsenal. It's a breath of fresh air to have a central midfielder that you just know just wants to play football and just wants the best for the team without the off the pitch drama. So yeah, I'm in agreement with Tony as well. For us, he may turn out to be the best signing of the summer. I can't say it just yet because I'm liking Odegaard, but he was very, very good today.
Yeah, I think it would be good to have Partey with him.
Yeah.
I think you would then see even more from Sambi, I think, because Partey knows that position very, very well, and he'll tell him exactly where to go, what to do, where to be, kind of thing. And I think that'll only accelerate his how good he can be. So I'm hoping that those two start playing together, especially in the next game.
Yeah, for a young boy, he seems very strong. I think he won all his ground duels. I was reading somewhere. He's very confident on the ball. Not afraid to take plays on. Makes the right passes for me. And like you said, I think with the right partner, he will do bits. And I'm looking forward to seeing him. And I'm hoping against Burnley, that's what we see. Because I really think they could probably work off each other really, really well. I was going to give him an 8 myself. I'm a big fan.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think anyone could grumble with an 8 or 7.5 or whatever. But I think he did very well, and he's been very solid.
I think
he's been very consistent.
Yeah, I'd say so. And I think what's going to be nice is I'm not basing it off this season. He can become our starting midfielder, but for me, that's the difference between our central midfielder and centre backs at the moment. Like, I know you guys don't rate Granit Xhaka, but in comparison to the ability Granit Xhaka has to the ability like Rob Holding or Pablo Mari has in their respective roles, is the drop off now from Thomas Partey or Xhaka when he's not being an idiot and getting red carded is a lot less, because we now have a talented young player that has proven it in games, which for me is just put us in a better stead overall as a squad.
Yep, I agree. I know exactly what you mean, and I agree with that.
It seems Thierry Henry knew what he was talking about. Maybe he should just be a scout and not a manager.
Yeah.
Martin Odegaard, I wasn't really impressed with him, to be honest. Canners, I know you're a fan.
Oh, I thought, well, he was close on my man in the match, to be fair. He pressed very well, especially in the first half and stuff. Did his defensive duties, and he moved the ball. I don't know. He's got this kind of smoothness with the way he's moving the ball now, and dare I say, actually, I think for 30 mil seems to be a bit of a snip with him being only 22. The only criticism I would have is that he could have been that little bit more decisive in the final third, but that's going to come. But I think, the way he moved the ball, the way he pressed, the way he kind of, drove us on, I'd give him a 7. 7.5. Sorry, 7.5.
Okay, James, you were just as shocked as Canners. Cool.
Yeah, for me, again, you're probably going to be shocked with this, Tony, but for me, he was my man of the match. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. I just felt again, it's kind of like what we were on about with Kieran Tierney, right? Maybe you didn't see it, but he didn't drop off for the whole time he was on the pitch. He was everywhere. Like he was leading the press. Like 20 minutes in, he was literally on the right back telling Pepe to press up. He was also in that same move when Norwich came back. He was also tackling right outside of our box and stopping a corner, right? So he did everything right. He should have had an assist. I don't know how Aubameyang missed that 30-yard ping that Odegaard did, because that was delightful. I don't know what happened to Aubameyang, and then he should have had an assist. But yeah, I like this role that Arteta is seeming to.
Do you think he's playing with the three in the middle? You know how where he's got the two and then one at the base. Do you think? That's
I don't know how I
was trying to work it out.
It's hard to see it in this formation because I think we tend to drift in and out of formations. We don't really have a set rigid 4-3-3 or 3-5-2, wherever it is, right? But it was nice to see like a player that just had a free role. He can play the 10, he can play the 6, he can play the 8. And I think if Mikel can develop this, he could be unbelievable for us. So for me, he's my man of the match. I'm only going to give him an 8. But in terms of the players that I have given an 8, being the two centre-backs, he's my man of the match.
Maybe I'm just being really harsh and I'm expecting a lot more from him. Maybe I was watching a different game. Because as you guys are talking, I've had a look. And actually, okay, he's only had 53 touches, but 93% pass accuracy, 2 key passes. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. From what I don't remember. I just don't remember seeing him do much, to be honest.
Sometimes, as we said, the players who when you kind of expect more, but they are doing their things. He just looks smooth. To be honest.
Okay. I think what
maybe
as well
too smooth for me.
Maybe same with Ben White as well. You like him rigid and old school, don't you? But again, it's kind of like the whole essence of, for me, he's the guy that's going to pass the ball to someone before they get an assist. That guy that just links the play. And I don't know, like as you said, your expectations might be that, he needs to get an assist or he needs to get a goal every game, right? But I think your opinion would have been changed if Aubameyang would have finished that chance, because then he now has an assist and you're just like, okay, he got an assist and he played really well throughout the game, so he's going to be like an 8.5. But I don't know. It's just, he went unnoticed today, but he was just everywhere.
Yeah. I think maybe I'm still a bit underwhelmed. But listen, I do believe he's got all the tools. He's got the potential to do bits.
He's growing on me. He's only definitely young. Growing on me.
Yeah, he's only young and he can only get better, right? You sold me a little bit, and I'm looking at that, and I'll tell you what, I'll give him a 7. He's not my man of the match. I'll give him a 7.
That's good. We bumped you. That's nice.
Should we go left or right? Where should we go first? Should we go Saka? Who wants to take Saka first?
Well, go ahead.
I thought he was relatively quiet today. Again, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but he seems to, maybe I'm looking too much into it, but I just feel like he's dropped off slightly in terms of what he was producing to the back end of last season. I just felt like he was, like from Christmas time to maybe May, he was outstanding for us last season, and he's carried that on in his national form for England. I'm not seeing that Bukayo Saka yet, and what I think is the detriment to me is, this is why I'm a bit harsh on Pepe, is I feel like we're shoehorning Pepe in a spot where Bukayo Saka is better. When he's on the right, Bukayo Saka is a much better player than he is on the left. I feel like we've seen everything he can offer on the left-hand side, whereas you've seen it for England. When he plays right wing for us, he's levels above Pepe, not in terms of goal scoring, because we know Pepe's more clinical. I just think his all-round link-up, final balls and the assists he's getting is being hindered by him being on the left. So I'm going to give him a 6.5, but he didn't really do anything wrong, but it's not the levels we're acclimated to do with Bukayo.
Yeah, Canners, you want to?
I concur. Actually, I give him a 6.5. He's not quite hit the heights of a couple of seasons ago, even last season. He grew into the game. He did grow into the game, and was a lot more dangerous in the second half. That is when it kind of when he began to find space, etc. But I just feel that he has dropped off. I'd only give him a 6.5, 6.5, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was fairly quiet, and he was put in a position that I prefer him in as well. When he didn't really do much for me. I personally think he's better from the left. I like the way he cuts in from that side. But yeah, he just seems quiet. He doesn't seem to be carrying his form over from what we've seen with England. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a confidence thing or it clearly isn't, because obviously we've seen what he's done for England.
I was expecting him to kick on against Norwich, to be fair, especially after the week he had with England. So I'm really kind of surprised he wasn't that bit better.
Yeah.
I'm hoping if Arteta puts him right wing, then we might see him become a bit more progressive. But we'll see.
Yeah, we will. I'll give him a 6. To be honest, Nicolas Pepe. I felt during your preview, Canners, I thought Guy Englishman was a little bit harsh on him, because I actually thought he was one of our best players.
On the reaction.
On the reaction, that's what I meant.
I would give him a 6.5 as well.
That low?
I think it's about average, really. I mean, yeah, he was heavily involved in the goal, etc. But he was bright, at the start and stuff. But I just think he kind of tailed off. The problem, I don't know, it just seemed like his first touch was a bit wayward as well. But apart from that, I don't know. He just seems to kind of maybe a little bit flatter into, he's a little flatter to deceive at the moment.
Okay. Whether
it's a rhythm thing or whatever, I don't know. Let's see in the next couple of games. I think he really needs to kind of pull his socks up, I feel. But I don't think he was bad. But I don't think he was great either. So I'll give him he was average, really. I'll give him a 6.5.
Okay, James?
I give him a 6. It's going to sound harsh, but for me, the jury's out on Pepe. For me, personally, I just think he's been here, 2 and a bit seasons now. Is it 3? Is this his third season?
This is his third, yeah.
Right. So he's been here for 3 years now, essentially. And what we pay for him and what we're expecting, he's shown glimpses of it, but not the consistency. And again, I know Emma Smith-Rowe was 6, so you play Pepe logically, but I feel like we're stifling Saka's ability and his growth by playing him not on the right. I feel like Saka offers more, and I feel like if Pepe isn't on the ball, he doesn't really offer much. What he is as a player is he likes taking it out wide and then running behind the defense, receiving balls in the final third from behind or taking them on one-on-one. But I feel like there's always people in the way, be it normally Aubameyang that's doing the same run. So I feel like he doesn't offer much on the build-up, and I don't think he's offered that what we expected consistently. So I don't know. For me, I wouldn't be playing Pepe right now. I wouldn't be playing him. I'd be starting Smith-Rowe and Saka above him. Again, maybe I'm being too harsh, but I don't know. I just feel like he's had ample chances now, and he's not done it consistently. And until he does do it, yeah, he's delayed 3 years. Gems is fine. No, but nah. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe it's just one game, but for me, I wouldn't be playing him until he starts being consistent.
But then it's a bit of a catch-22. Fair enough. I mean, what about the next couple of games where
give him short stints and see how he does? Like I wouldn't. I'd rather be playing Bukayo Saka for 70 minutes and then Pepe for 20 than the other way around. Saka has delivered. Pepe hasn't really delivered unless you're counting the FA Cup final. But for me, yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. I just don't think even right now Saka is providing or delivering. So yeah, I mean, listen, it might be as I said, more comfortable coming off the right, to the left or whatever Saka. So we'll see. Let's see what he does on Saturday, I guess.
Well, I thought I was being asked with Odegaard. I can see what you were saying with Pepe. There were moments of what you mentioned there, but I think he got stuck in. He got a couple of tackles there, and he was busy down that right side. Kept busy. Tried to make things happen. 3 shots on target, 3 shots off. Like most of them off target were the lead up to the goal. Said that right. Seriously low scoring, boys.
Oh, mate, listen, it's Norwich, right? And the thing I see is that, listen, we kept a clean sheet, great. But then it's up to your midfield and forwards actually to start putting the ball in the net. And we didn't really do that. With the amount of shots that we had, I don't know whether they're all long range or whatever, but we should be putting more, I guess it's about confidence. At the moment, we ground out the victory, really. And that 1-0 against Norwich is grinding out a victory. Form, it's nothing about form. The goal tells the story about how we ground out the victory. Yeah. It wasn't a thing of beauty at all. It's probably the most comical goal you'll see in your life. One of the way it actually got to Aubameyang in the end. So, yeah.
Well, I was gonna go 7.5 myself.
Stick to your guns, man. Stick to your guns.
I just like what I saw. I just thought, no, it wasn't just Nigeria that was Arsenal. It was maybe I was watching
6.5 is an average for me. Is average. 6.5 for me is average.
Okay.
Anything below that is then you're bordering on poor.
I mean, I suppose if we didn't see things differently, this would be boring.
Exactly.
Aubameyang. I don't think he scored the goal. That's it for me. James?
Yeah, I think that you're right. Like, apart from he missed a couple of a big chance. Again, Odegaard, there was another one where it kind of was like a half chance. But I don't know. I felt like he wasn't a great game, but he looked sharp. I felt like, yes, he was unlucky with the shots, but he looked like he was getting involved in the right positions, like more what we were used to seeing Aubameyang 2 seasons ago. And maybe it is only Norwich, and maybe it is just him having like a one-off and looking a bit more sharper than he has this season and the end of last season. But I thought he was all right. I give him a 6.5, nothing special, but he got the goal that we needed, so can't complain.
So, Canners, you played for 90 minutes, 28 touches.
I'd give him a 6.5. His average, really. The only reason why he gets that 0.5 is because he would have had a 6 is for the goal, being right place at the right time, and that is a mark of a top striker, really, in the right place at the right time, and he does that. Obviously, not his best performance by any stretch, but I just believe now let's try and just get some rhythm going. He's got a goal. Let's have a good performance, good performance where we can and be solid against Burnley. They normally give us problems up at their gaff. Let's do that, and let's start judging the team after the next couple of games and see how we get on.
I think 6.5 is a fair score. I want to say something. It's disturbing because I've just put this up. Look at this heat map. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Obviously standing still.
Yeah. That's a bit worrying. Before we go on to the subs, just a couple more comments. Nurse Phil's in the house. Sorry, he's late.
Who's nursing you, Phil? Who's nursing you after tonight?
Yeah, we're just here talking about our young boys.
Yeah.
Solo, my guys, he stopped ripping his suits up by the looks of it. It's able to see that.
She's on form, isn't she? Eh? Bless her.
Indeed. And Arteta should learn from watching Saka in England for how to get the best from him. Take Gareth to lunch. But sometimes I think they do, because you look at some of the lineups that Gareth comes up with and you think, is he been chatting to Arteta? Especially where he plays Trippier, you know. So the subs, we could go through them very, very quickly. We'll just go for straight scores. Emil Smith-Rowe, 62 minutes for Tomiyasu. James?
6.
Canners?
6.5. Should have done better with a chance, actually. He had a big chance.
That's why I'm giving him a 6.
Yeah,
I'll agree with James. I'll give him a 6. Thomas Partey, 62 for Lokonga. And I mentioned that ball to Saka for the goal.
Yeah. I'm giving him a 7.
Just for that alone.
Yeah, I thought it was, well, you saw the levels that he came on. I know you said you just wanted a straight score, but you saw the levels of our team when he came on, so I'm going to give him a 7. He was really good.
Yeah, can't dispute that, Canners.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. I like 6.5. I mean, look, he makes the midfield better. And I think it's good that he got 30 minutes. Let's hope that 30 minutes plus a whole week of training and stuff means that, equals a start against Burnley.
And I don't know if we can give Cedric a score. It came on the 82nd minute.
It wasn't on long enough, no.
We'll give it an NA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Mikel Arteta. Go on, Candice. Take this one away.
I'll give him an 8. It's man in the match. Really. To be fair. I think he won a game. I think he picked the right players. The formation, we look solid enough. But I think the team selection was good. I think, as I said, another week of training together, having players that are fit. Let's start seeing what this team's about now. I would give him an 8. Man in the match.
Okay, James.
Between 7.5 and 8, I can't really decide, so we'll say 7.7. Why not? Just to be awkward. But yeah, I thought he did everything right. It would have been higher if he would have beaten them by a higher score, but then again, that's not his fault. He got them into the right positions with the formations he was using and his actual player selection. It was just the players that let him down in the final third. So I think he did everything right. I think we rode the gate. We pressed for 30 minutes, which we did really well, and then we counter-attacked when we needed to, when we were tired. We just managed the game. I don't think Norwich were ever in it from the start, so I thought he did really well today. Well, today, last game.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm going to be harsh again. The lineup I was a little bit. Listen, Canners, we've done the preview. We picked our team, and that's what we were hoping for. And that's what we didn't get.
I think we all got the back 5 right, didn't we? I think
we got the back 5 right, and Lukonga. I didn't expect Ainsley, to be honest, and I thought that was a bit of a strange one. That was a curveball,
but I think we got Odegaard and Sambi. It was just I thought he would have gone straight off with Partey, but he played.
I still feel that this was a game for Smith-Rowe to start. I really do. I don't want to score him high because it was Norwich. No disrespect to Norwich. The performance was all right. Maybe the players on the pitch that took their chances. I just don't want to score him high. Listen,
the thing is that the morale was at rock bottom.
It is.
So it would have been, to get any kind of cohesion or any kind of proper style of play, it would have been hard. Listen,
do you know?
We should do it more often. Winning.
I'll give him a Canner's average score 6.5. I'll give him that because we won, and it's still a positive. You know,
you can argue that he's done what he's supposed to have done. Really, he's done his job.
Yeah. But let's just see what he does this Saturday. Big up Amondi. He says, big up the Armoury. Things can only get better. I hope so. Good result, but still much to improve on. 100% agree with that. Before we go on, any closing thoughts with you guys? If you guys could just...
Yep.
Yes, please do like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. So yeah, any closing thoughts? Just go to you down there, James.
I think I'm a bit more optimistic now. Let's see how this team performs as a cohesion, our whole team against Burnley and then against Spurs. But I think there's positives with the signings we've made that we might actually turn it around and finish in a reasonable position this season.
Yep, Canners.
Yeah, I'd echo that. Really, you just got to let's try and get some momentum and go in and go on a good bloody long, winning streak. Let's go a good 10, 15 games, not losing a game. Let's see if we can do that. That's my challenge to Mikel.
Yeah, I kind of echo you guys. It's just hopefully the 3 points is give them the confidence that's needed. It gives a little boost. Everyone's coming back now. Hopefully we'll see Party start in the next game. And we can talk about all that in the preview for that one. Guys, I'd like to thank you for joining me this evening. We went on longer than we anticipated, but that's Arsenal. That's what happens. Gunslingers will be back on Thursday night, 8:00. Topic to be decided. Have we come up with one?
I think we're James is the author of that one.
Yeah, you'll find out on Gunslingers. I'll keep it as a surprise, but it'll be a good one.
It'll be good.
Make sure you tune into that, set the reminders and all that stuff. And until the next one, we'll see you soon.